whole idea for Wolves on the Dance Floor really began with just a riff that Fingers came up with while I was watching Netflix one day, just noodling around, which I sometimes do. Just to sort of unconsciously let your fingers relax and start to come up with this little funk kind of thing. I was messing around, and that started to sound like a disco song to me. So I reached for my phone and recorded that little bit like I often do, just using the audio notes. And the next day when I was putting this together, I found another riff that I put down on the phone a couple days earlier that was much slower tempo. Began to wonder if I could somehow merge those two bits. That would of course involve shifting the tempo of one of them either up or down to match, and so I found about 1/16 is where they met kind of in the middle, but it required me to dramatically speed up that riff, which ultimately became this. Of course, any disco song needs to have a real driving bass line, and so what I ultimately wrote that went with this was of course a bass line that the guitar actually mimics. Ended up using the Charvel. This guitar just kind of sounded right for the part, possibly due to some of the compression you get from the active EMGs. It just sounded right for that part. So once I ran it through the atomic amplifier box using a Fender setting, dial back the gain and the volume a little bit. The Addictive Drums 2 software allows you to grab a lot of pre-recorded loops and fills and splice them up together however you wish and adjust tempos and so forth. About half the guitar work is recorded on this ESP, definitely all the leads and the heavy rhythms. It has a good mid-range punch, so it's a great choice for leads. And in fact, I don't really have to EQ the lead tracks any differently as long as I'm using a slightly different tone setting going in using the Engel or any amp for that matter. I'll use a different combination of amplifier setting and speaker cab setting for a rhythm versus lead. So I want my leads to be a little bit brighter and a little bit different, just whatever that texture is. Aside from the creating of the drum tracks, none of this is really done on a computer. I do all of my tracking and mix down and mastering using a Tascam 24-track digital unit here. I like having actual knobs and levers to tweak and not using the mouse for the entire process. It just somehow seems more true, more organic.